For many of the victims of the non-consensual weapons and surveillance technology or program, there is never any privacy. No privacy in the shower, the bedrooms, or the bathrooms. Most people are aware of the CIA experiments of the 60s and 70s, but few know that many of the McCulture test subjects may have been moved from one program to another and now are part of this project. There are many aspects to surveillance that need to be addressed. First of all, who is under surveillance? Most of the subjects that I have spoken to are activists, former government, whistleblowers, and people that the FBI and intelligence community placed under surveillance as people of interest. In 2006, the FBI stated that prior to 9/11 that they had 16 people under surveillance, and a year later 1,000, and at the time of the press release they had as many as 80,000. This may make some people feel safer, but what if the people are activists, whistleblowers, former government workers, and not terrorists? We believe that there are many more than this now. The sad part about the surveillance program is that once your name is cleared and there is no reason for you to be under surveillance, you then become a target of mind control. Mind control is not what it implies. You do not become zombies and do what everybody tells you to do. What they are trying to do is to alter your personality or behavior to fit the common description that the intelligence community believes is either normal or acceptable. This is done by remote methods. This could and often does mean that blacks, minorities, and homosexuals and activists become targets. The Phoenix Manual for the FBI states that anyone that speaks out about the Constitution or the United Nations should be considered dangerous and placed on medication. The sad fact is that many new agents are not aware that this testing is going on and will immediately identify anyone complaining about the symptoms as mentally ill. Often COINTELPRO operations are used first as a means to discredit the victims. Once discredited, they then often lose their homes, jobs, and family support. Many are placed on disability in a social security system that is struggling. The victims are placed on medication that they do not need, and in fact it often harms them. This is another burden on our already overburdened Social Security and Medicare program. Some of the websites about mind control are very thorough, but often tend to be outlandish to the viewers that have no education about non-lethal weapons and good technology. I suggest that you type into your search program Psychotechnology Research Institute to learn about some of the aspects of this program. Many of the victims are sexually harassed and raped by this technology. But they are also raped by another form of this technology, and that's a virtual rape, where the victim is placed in dreams and they are raped by more than one person. This is meant to induce trauma so that the psychotronic program will work better. We now have patents that confirm that microwave and V2K hearing or low or high frequency communication is not only possible, but we now believe being tested by the agencies on non-consensual test subjects, possibly under the surveillance program. Once the person complains, they are then sent to the hospital and diagnosed as schizophrenics. The media has put their head in the sand. The Congress has tried to pass laws, but they are watered down to nothing by this administration. There seems to be no help for the victims but to prove on their own that they are targets of this technology in the intelligence community. Keep in mind that the victims are not terrorists. In fact, most victims do not believe in violence and have no idea as to why they were chosen. What is to keep an agency honest so that innocent people don't get targeted by angry or unethical agents? We know that these agencies have been known to overstep and violate people's rights. If they can make the public and the families of these victims believe that these people are mentally ill, in the minds of these agents and agencies, they think that anything goes. They seem to follow the belief that prisoners and the mentally ill are game for non-consensual testing of any kind, regardless of the Nuremberg Code. We all know about the LSD and the syphilis testing in the 60s and 70s, but now we are trying to tell the public that they could become a victim of non-consensual weapons testing under the surveillance program. The Air Force is advocating the use of these weapons for testing and crowd control, even though their own testing of the weapons confirms that people wearing pacemakers and contacts could be at risk. They also state that the use of the active denial technology that burns the skin is harmless for up to 10 minutes. Look at these photos. The white areas are scars. The skin is burned. I once had my gallbladder burned. The diagnosis was a red irritated area, but I now know it was this technology. If you are watching this and viewing these photos, please type in mind control, V2K, behavior modification, active denial weapons system.